pressure coming, and Perkins gets away, but now the ball's on the ground. Left, looking in trouble. He's and that's it. The Falcons are home. That's the key. There we go. Game on the line. A stumble. And behind is taken down. And for the second straight year, the game ends on a sack.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome back here to another episode of Coming Off the Edge. Today, we are joined by Herms, Nate Povelt, and Jeff Bell. Chef, James Crease, we miss you. He's out there sick or something. But today, we are bringing you a 2022 rookie mock draft, Superflex tight end premium. What's going on, everybody? How are you?
Well, Chef is resting up because he came back from our good friend Juan Swanson's.
What?
John Swanson's bachelor party.
Juan Swanson. Shout out. Congratulations on the marriage. Well, almost marriage.
Almost marriage.
Yes. So that's where he is. So our good friend, Mr. Swanson, is a musical genius, and he's going to get married. And Chef had a great time, and Chef, rightfully so, is taking a minute, taking a breather. So we miss him, and we wish him well.
Dude, how as you get older, going to a bachelor party, that's probably rough, man. I was like 26 for my first one, and dude, that was still tough.
Well, I feel like the expo is the equivalent of a bachelor party almost, but
nice.
My experience is a little bit different. So I behaved myself. But
we all really behaved.
Yes.
We tried our best. Superflex mock draft here, guys. So we only have 10 people or 9 people out of the 12. So,
make it 12,
I don't know what that says about us, but here we are. All right. So hopefully everybody's Craig is second. Team 1 will be auto picking. I'm going to start the draft now. And look at that. Breece Hall 1.01. We were talking backstage a little. It seems that is not too out of the ordinary.
I saw it earlier today. I had somebody do that. I personally wouldn't do that, but part of it is my aversion to running backs. Some people believe that's the way to go. I think he's a guy that I could see him landing in the back half of the first round and ending up on a team like a Buffalo or an Arizona, which would spike his value, or, he could fall towards the middle and end up like, I tend to think like maybe the Chargers could look at taking another running back, and people in fantasy would be very, very angry if that were to happen.
Right. So let's say, what if the 1.01 went to a team who traded for it, not traded up, but let's say it was like a contender. What about taking a running back then, Well, maybe it depends on draft capital for Hall, as you're alluding to.
Yeah, well, and I think that this draft is fluid enough that I'm kind of feeling like we need to bump Malik Willis up a little bit more than maybe initially was thought. And I'll probably end up taking him here with the 4th pick, just because the fantasy package is so appealing that, my concern on him was, is he going to be a starting quarterback in the league, or the league going to decide that they don't want to do that?
Right.
And coming out of the Senior Bowl, it kind of feels like they're definitely heading that way.
Right.
That he's going to be a no doubt top half of the first round. This guy's our franchise guy. And if that's the case, in Superflex, he's just got the tools for fantasy that you want to see. I mean, he's got a fantastic arm. He's got the legs. So
absolutely. So shout out to Herms here.
Hello.
The GOAT. Shout out to Craig. So Craig went Treylon Burks and Bo. Shout out to Bo McBigtime, Garrett Wilson. Treylon Burks, I think, Jeff, you didn't peg him to the Browns in your article.
Actually.
You did. That was you. Okay. That was you.
I did put him to the Browns in my mock draft I just put out yesterday. So I don't know. That feels like it might be an iffy landing spot for fantasy, but certainly they need receiving talent. And so if they feed him, I mean, Baker Mayfield is capable of getting the ball. I do not hate you.
Some nice uncatchable target passes there. Oh, Herms, you're on the clock. What are you doing? What are you thinking?
Yes. Well, okay. So I'm kind of tempted to go with, I don't know, Drake London out of USC being on the board is kind of intriguing, but I'm also a little worried about he's such a traditional X receiver in my mind that if he just goes to an atrocious place that absolutely cannot get him the ball in that fashion, I'm going to be terrified. So I think, I don't know, like Kenneth Walker is interesting, but then also like it, according to some of this, it claims it would be a reach, but I really, really like George Pickens too. But fuck it. I'm just gonna go with Kenneth Walker. It seems like the smart thing to do.
You said
like the smart thing to do.
And you've been heavily investing into the running back class, correct?
That is true. Now I definitely like Kenneth Walker more than the running back who went before my pick. Honestly, I'm not really that big of a Isaiah Spiller guy, but we have an entire show to talk about that, so I'll leave that. But Nate's picking, so let him talk.
Well, you sniped me. I really like Kenneth. It's fine. It's fine. So, I mean, the next one I had up, I really like Kenny Pickett. I think that he's going to be, and I'm not necessarily drafting for 2022. He might sit on my taxi in 2022. I don't know, but I'm taking him because I like him.
Right.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny
Pickett. Yes, again.
That was the dude that did the fake slide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Shout out to Kenny Pickett. Jeff, did you have Malik Willis to the football team?
I did. I had him going to the football team. I had Kenny Pickett going to the Steelers. I had Matt Corral going to the Lions at the end of the first round.
Who do you have Sam Howell going to?
Sam Howell going to the Saints. So I kind of said, the Saints need to start working on that salary cap a little bit, taking a rookie quarterback, buying that rookie contract that pushes it out a little bit, gives you a little bit of security. You can kind of flush some things through, and you can start to rebuild.
Starting year one?
If you're the Saints, Dennis Allen is the coach.
Oh, I got 50 seconds before my pick, man.
I don't know. Pick whatever you want.
You see what I'm alluding here? You see what I'm alluding? Sorry, that was aggressive. My fault. It's not, but in my heart, it's not.
But like so mock drafts are like masturbation. They're a lot of fun, and you kind of do them, but at the end of the day, you walk out and there's just nothing there.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yes, sir. Let's clip that, everyone. I went with Drake London. Shout out Drake London.
That is my opinion on mock drafts, and I'm not brave enough to tweet it, so I probably shouldn't have shared it on the air. But
we're glad you did.
Bo's talking crap.
Dude, go away, Bo. Go.
Man,
he loves to roast me.
He 2-1. Wow.
So now he gets to roast me publicly 3 times this week.
In my mind, I think there's a little bit of a teardrop between 9 and 10. In my mind, I think that I put Breece Hall, Spiller, Burks, Garrett Wilson, London, Jameson, and Malik Willis are all kind of right there. And then you kind of throw the quarterbacks in, and then some of these other wide receivers. I'm not as big on Kenneth Walker as you guys are. I think he's fine, but I don't know that he's going to be a feature back in an NFL offense right away, at least.
Kenneth Walker there by Craig, and then Bo goes David Bell. Let's tune to Nate for your opinion.
Terrible, horrible, awful pick.
There you go. Shout out David Bell, though. He's the Purdue guy, right? That played with Rondale. And I knew that was coming for Jeff.
Hey.
Jeff, as you alluded to earlier, that McBride should potentially be a first-round pick, specifically in tight end premium drafts.
Especially tight end premium drafts, I would consider him taking him in the top 12. I tend to think that I don't think he's getting past the Jets in the second round at the beginning of the second round. They're coming out of the Senior Bowl. He was on there. They coached his team. They absolutely loved him at the Senior Bowl. They don't really have the George Kittle in their offense. So if somebody wants him, I think they need to go in front of him.
For sure. I love that.
How is it possible that you sniped me 2 rounds in a row?
Dude, Herms has been tweeting about Kyron forever.
Dude, it's so on brand for me to go with this dude. Kyron Williams is my guy. I'm going to try and leave every draft that I'm in with him if it's possible. So.
And like Bo is saying, we can all probably agree with Jeff that McBride is awesome. That would be cool. They got the 36th pick in the second.
They've got 2 picks in the beginning of the second round. So.
I don't even know who I want. Justin Ross. Wow. That was the guy that had the neck injury, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's spinal stenosis.
Wow. And he's fine now?
He's off my board.
Okay. Not on sleepers. He's top there on sleepers. Wow, we got Rivers. Roland Rivers. Wow, one of his kids already in the NFL?
Check it out. Wow, amazing.
I'll go with Ritter. Probably not excited about it, but what if that's like a Davis Mills-esque pick? Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. Goes to the Falcons. Is that what you? I don't remember. Jeff, I'm just like kind of just. Maybe I should just read off your draft.
I had him going to the Falcons later in the second round. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to make my cue and like actually draft too.
Well, here we go. We just had
him on the show.
James Cook, Justin Ross, Khalif Jackson, and then Landon Rice go.
So for future reference, when you set these things up, like I just do what I do is I do one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, and one tight end on the settings, and then that lets you split it and search by those.
Oh, got you. I just did Dynasty 2 quarterback PPR.
Yeah, so like when I do the rookie ones, because some people just do like flex or super flex, and it's just like a jumble, and you can't sort anything.
I know what you
do
mean.
like one each, then it lets you sort by the positions.
I know what you mean. Carson Strong there. That's actually who I probably should have taken at 2.09.
Oh man, that's who I was going to take.
Yeah, that's a good. Craig's having a good draft. Bo is obviously he's always expert analysis on his picks with Wilson and Bell. Who's that? Who's him?
Clock now.
Oh, is that the guy from that one like Division II school maybe?
No, Tyler Algier. Here's a BYU running back.
That was a
Who's
good
the guy from
He's
like
a big
App
back.
PR Strong, baby.
Is that who I was thinking of?
Pierre Strong is South Dakota State.
I know
Jackrabbits, I think it is.
Go Jackrabbits. Woo, yeah.
He had
Hell
a
of a
really
nickname.
strong East-West Shrine game. He's a good back.
You just took Damian Pierce. You love to see that above 208 pounds, huh?
Yeah, I think he weighed in like 220. So he lit up the Senior Bowl. This guy's he's a whole package of a running back. You know, he is a run blocker. He can catch the ball. I think that I don't know. The way that he showed at the Senior Bowl and his package, I wonder if he's going to be threatening to be in that top tier of running backs by the time we really get around to the draft.
God, I'm so mad you took him too, man. He runs like a cannonball. Damn, I love that guy.
Wait, why you got to take Rashad White on Ryan?
What's that? Rashad White?
Nate, I see you're talking and hands moving, but I think you muted yourself.
Oh, no.
We all got love for Ryan out here.
I did.
How about now?
So I keep getting sniped by Herm, so I had to pay it forward.
Yeah,
sorry,
Brett. Love that pick, Brett.
Oh, jeez, that's
Isaiah Likely's my guy, bro. I wanted him in this third.
Screw it. I don't know.
If you're picking in the back end of the third, you should take Isaiah Likely in the second. Oh, Jalen Weidermeyer.
I thought, why not? You know, I mean,
that's good value.
Wasn't there talk he might be that tight end going to the Jets at the top of the second?
The expectation coming into a lot of people had him as their tight end 1 coming into the year. He's fine. I just think that McBride gives you a little bit more. He's more of a natural receiver. Colorado State used him as their primary receiver, which you love to see that. And then coming into the Senior Bowl, he lit it up. So that's kind of where he's separated himself.
Hey, is Brian Robinson the Alabama guy?
Yep.
He is.
I'm going to take him. We got Seahill, Stoke, and Rivers. There's his son.
Yeah, these aren't real. Those aren't real people. So Sleeper is. They're working on. They're getting everything squared away. So
good. Our draft is really good.
They're working on it.
Good.
Yeah, just ignore the computer. You know?
That just goes to show how chaotic the chaos coming off the edge show is, guys. You're here for something. That's all I gotta say. Khalil Shakir. Where's he from, Jeff?
Shakir,
Boise State. He's the Boise State wide receiver. He's I don't know. Some people love him.
Some people love it. Oh wow, this is all that's there.
Yeah, they're working on getting guys added in. So if you've got a rookie that you want to add, shoot me a message. I'll see if I can relay it. So
we appreciate it.
I'm probably going to take some time and go through and see what I can do.
Right. So, but still, Sleeper, shout out to you guys for getting these in. We could have some,
they're the best.
some content out of this. Shout out to Sleeper. You're watching. We know you are. We appreciate you. So we're coming down here to the nitty gritty. Honestly, I don't even know if I know any of these players.
Oh, there's lots of guys left.
Yeah, Mr. Devi, which I appreciate your Devi league.
You're learning. We're
I
learning.
know, dude. I'm into my 2025 tight ends already. Shout out to Mr. Cross, signed to Penn State. He's playing with who's the quarterback? Alar or something?
Drew Aller.
Drew Aller. Herms is excited. He got his boy.
I don't know.
Yes, sir. Woohoo! Go Jackrabbits. Yeah.
Love that, buddy. Oh, am I on? Oh no. Okay, look at that. Ruckert and then Tolbert. I'm on the clock here.
Oh no. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Like I said, I like this guy, dude. Ah, nice. 25 years old. What the heck? Did he go to BYU? I don't. Jabri Blunt, 25 years old. He's 6'7" though.
I don't think he's actually in the draft.
Good. Nice. Very nice. What about Pro Wells? Oh, he was waived by Cincinnati.
Yeah, he was in last year's draft.
Did Kolar, did he go back to school?
No, he's in the draft.
Okay, then I'm actually happy with that. And surprise everyone, we're converting this to a league.
Yeah. All right.
No!
Yeah, there we go. Hell of a start.
So
Hell of a
there is
start.
the draft. Now, everyone here, thank you. First off, thank you to Craig, Bo, Brett, Ryan, Team 10, Team 11, Team 12, and Team 1 for participating. Looking at this draft, what do you guys see? Is there something that may change heavily? Whether that's for the good, going up or going down.
There's a lot of running backs that are missing right now that I think that you're going to likely see your third and fourth round in your draft is going to be hammered with running back.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of your draft, I would imagine. I don't know that you were going to see this many tight ends go. Well, part of these are like automatic picks. So I would not expect this many tight ends to go in your rookie. It is a good, deep, and talented rookie class, but at tight end, but I don't expect to see that many drafted in a fantasy draft. Obviously, this looks a little bit light on wide receivers. Christian Watson, the guy from the Senior Bowl, he's not in this. There's a couple other names that I think that you'll probably see in your draft that are not in this right now. So
Sky Moore, probably.
Yeah, there's probably, between the guys that the computer took, Sky Moore is another one that he'll be drafted. He'll probably end up being a second round pick in your draft. So
Easily.
there's probably a handful of second round picks that are kind of missing out of this right now. So they are, I'm thankful that they've got it up and we can get rolling on it. But it's work in progress.
So I like Isaiah Likely, and I think maybe he's a guy, depending on draft capital, if he could snag a third or fourth round pick from a team, I would really like that, similar to maybe like a Kylan Granson type aspect.
I think you're looking more at a Brevin Jordan type, where
I was just saying fourth rounder. He was
yeah,
fourth round, wasn't
I don't know. My concern on him is having the functional strength to be projected as a tight end that catches that high of draft capital. I think that's what we kind of ran into with Brevin Jordan last year. And I think that they're pretty similar players in terms of they have a lot of athleticism. They're lighter guys that are more big wide receivers. So, that's kind of where I see him falling.
There we go. What about someone like did Jerome Ford get drafted?
He probably should have been. I don't know if
Jerome
he did.
Ford did not get drafted. Not sure if he was there, but someone like that.
He was in there. He's pretty much out of consideration for me personally. I think he really has to land in a situation where there's already a very good offensive line in front of him, because like at his size with his play style, I really question how that's going to go, because I fear that he could end up just constantly running into brick walls and just being like, oh no, because I don't see him being able to just barrel through people like that, but like the burst is there. I'm not saying he's bad. It's just like, I'm really nervous about where he would fit in, but
there were people projecting him, and he had listed as like a 220 pound, like 4.3 guy and like high 4.3s. And when I watched him, I told the guys on Debbie Royale, I told them in the group chat when I went through my film review of him, that's the smallest 220 pound guy I've ever seen. And that's the slowest 4.3 guy I've ever seen. So
I said the same thing to myself. Like I think I even put that in my notes. I was just like, if that dude's 225, then I must be huge. Yeah. Dear God.
So what about this other running back? Maybe a Zamir White. He didn't get drafted here, but Not sure if he was in.
Hasn't he torn both of his ACLs already?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm just naming off players
out of the
I
way.
don't
You know,
Yeah, he got him
got that out of the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of. I feel like last year we didn't have a lot of the bigger backs in the draft class, and I feel like this year there's a lot of the bigger backs that you like to see. I just question the athleticism on most of them. I just don't think that. I don't know. Right now, when I look at it, I feel like there's 30-ish backs that are worth talking about in this draft, and certainly 30 guys are not going to get drafted. Once we get combine numbers and once we get some real, for sure, weights, heights, and measurements on guys, because we already saw with Jerome Ford, he's a different size than what we'd expect. But then once we get some of these guys running a little bit and we can kind of see what we're going to see on tape and they put down some times, I expect that we're going to see a little bit of different differentiation is going to happen within the class.
And who were you talking about for 225?
There's a couple guys. Damian Pierce is a 220-pound guy. So Brian Robinson is.
Was it Jerome Ford that I was saying?
There were people who claimed
Jerome Ford was listed as that, but he's not.
What, like 250? Oh, that's the guy. Maybe 215?
Colleges want to see their guys get drafted, and nobody's measuring and weighing these guys before they go to the Senior Bowl or to the Combine. And so, we saw it last year with Rondale Moore was a 5'7" guy instead of a 5'9", 5'10" guy that he'd been listed in the program. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is a guy that he's listed.
Yep.
He's listed between 5'9", 5'11" some places, and I think he's going to be closer to 5'6". Sky Moore, I think that they are pretty conservative. I think Western Michigan's measurements were pretty well on with Eskridge last year, and Moore kind of looks like Eskridge. So I think that's going to be okay. I don't expect it with him. David Bell's a guy that he's listed as 6'2", and I think that's a 6-foot guy. When I watch him, I don't see a 6'2" guy when I watch David Bell, but that's what I see.
So what Jeff Bell is saying, when you look at an age, height, maybe age, who knows, height or weight, you got to bring it down. 6 foot, he's 5'8", 6'2", 6 foot, 225, 205.
I think there's some colleges that are maybe a little bit more aggressive with trying to get their guys on the radar than maybe some other schools. I think in Alabama doesn't really care too much about those type of things, but I think maybe like a Purdue might. I don't, just out of experience.
So like George Pickens is probably 6'3", like he's listed.
I think George Pickens, he looks like a 6'3" guy. When you watch him play, he looks like he's legitimately a 6'3" guy. Maybe he's 6'2", but 6'3". But like Jalen Tolbert is a guy that he was listed. Some places had him 6'4", and he measured at like 6'1", 6 flat or 6'1". But you watch him, and he's playing against like these 5'9", 5'8" DBs from like the Sun Belt, and he looks like Cortland Sutton, like out here, like beasting guys. And then he goes and measures at the Senior Bowl, and he's a 6-foot wide receiver, and you're looking at a completely different player when you're thinking that this guy's a 6'4" Cortland Sutton clone versus a 6 foot just kind of slow guy.
Wow. Hey, is that why some people don't like test or go into the Senior Bowl or the Combine, so they're not actually like weighed or measured?
Well, everybody goes through the Combine. That they might not necessarily run at the Combine if they think that they're comfortable in their draft slot. But everybody that will go to the Combine. I think we run like 300 guys through there or something like that. But that's one of those that if you're on the fringe, you want to be there. So
you got to go. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so any other notable rookie mentions here, whether that's a player that's going to go up in value or maybe there's a guy that's going to go down in value?
Watch out for Jerrion Ely.
Jerry Ely's my dude. Yes. I love him.
There we go.
Oh, man,
what does that mean? What does that mean, Nate?
Great receiving back. I mean, they've lined him up in the slot. They were lining him up as an X receiver. He runs really like phenomenal routes. He's great out of the backfield. I really like him. And I know he's not huge, but he's got burst at the line of scrimmage too when he's running the ball. Like, he'll climb up some boards.
And he's a hell of an infielder. I mean,
yeah, right. Some of those catches.
I only knew who he was because he was in the Under Armour All-American baseball game like years ago. I was like, oh man, Jerrion Ely. Yo, dude, I thought he was gonna go pro and be a ball player, but it was like, no, football, okay, fine, go do you. But like, oh my gosh, dude, dude, I like those two sport guys. There's something about it. There's just something diverse, athletic
Yep.
profiles, skill sets. Like, I think that really comes in handy. And like, because especially like what we see, like, basketball players do a bunch of stuff, like with the tight end position, and like even like because I think Drake London also played at USC on the basketball team, did he not? Like,
Oh, really?
Good,
yeah,
yes.
I think so. Yeah, so it's like having that diverse athletic skill set really just like I feel like I don't have like a ton to back it up. Like I feel
Well,
like
but
it
like
helped. It
tight
helped.
ends who played basketball. Tony
Yeah,
Gonzalez.
exactly. Antonio Gates.
Antonio Gates.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
Jimmy Graham, maybe.
Jimmy Graham.
Wow, I'll get this advertisement out of there.
Can't advertise on our show.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to, FanDuel.
You can.
Well,
but
Look
just
at that
don't pay us for it.
consistency. 7 hundo a year. 32
Yeah.
receptions last year. That's awesome. Cool.
Like, we already know he can catch a ball into a glove really well. So I mean, there's that.
Right?
Oh, there's baseball. Shout out to Jerry Ely. Okay, there you go. That's just a solid one there from. Is this guy like a Demetric Felton?
That's probably on the right path. I think.
Look at that. You heard that comp here first. What do we like? Oh, here we go. Now we're talking defense. Shout out to IDP. Shout out to Craig.
IDP's awesome.
I don't know. I like whoever the scouts tell me to like more.
So I've put, I don't know. I feel like doing a mock, like I just can't get away from Hutchinson and the Lions because I just feel like that would be like such a fun marriage of player and fan base and
Sure.
But like I think Thibodeau's pretty easily the better prospect.
Wow. A lot of people are kind of coin flip on them, right?
Yeah, some people are.
Okay. Yeah, I really have no idea. I know they both play defensive end.
Will absolutely talk myself into an undrafted running back with a good landing spot.
Hassan Haskins, here it
Oh,
comes.
shout out to
Look
Doak.
There you go. Like,
That's true. Is Doak still on the team? Is Mike McDaniel going to do something with
I
that
think
team?
Well, we certainly hope so. He's a very fun coach. Like that's
He is.
very
Like,
fun
what do you
hire.
think's going to happen? I know you had a
They're gonna use
linebacker, offensive
Lynn
lineman.
Bowden like Debo. So here we go.
Lynn Bowden has a chance. I mean, do you think they signed Mostert, maybe Marlon Mack, and draft a late round guy, or did they use their 3rd round pick on a guy like whoever we just talked about?
I think they draft a guy that kind of reminds me of Elijah Mitchell is Abram Smith. I think he's kind of that same weight-ish and fast guy that I think could work in that type of offense. I think that I expect the 49ers, not the 49ers, but the Dolphins, it seems like they're pretty committed to Duke Johnson. I believe they brought him, I think they re-signed him at the end of last year to a contract extension. Yeah, and then Gaskin is going to be there too. I think they're going to draft a guy later. There's a lot of backs that can get drafted out of this class.
Good. I didn't know Duke Johnson got signed at the end.
Yeah, they gave him an extension, I think, like in December.
Good for them. I mean, he looked. Dude, he did well when he's had a step
took the
up.
job.
Right? Yeah,
people
I
kind
know
of
a lot of
sleeping on
people
him
are.
right now. So, but certainly a new coach and everything.
Yeah, a nice athletic guy probably would fit depending on if McDaniel brings over that one cut system, which I'm sure he did if he had a lot of input on the run game.
I would imagine they're going to run that same system.
Is Salvin Ahmed still there? I'm not sure.
I think
Yeah.
We're just saying yeah at this point. Here, let me pull it up so we
Yeah,
can
of
be a little
course.
bit more accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen
Ricky
to
Williams
us.
still there? I don't know. Ricky Williams could still be there.
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
Wait, Jay
Jordan Howard's still
Ajayi.
there.
Ajayi.
Jay Ajayi could still be there. I mean,
Ajayi, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
What's his name? My damn it. Hold on. Fill this idle void. I'm searching for the contracts.
I got it.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Okay, it's coming up. Load faster.
Oh, well, I was going to
So no, he's a free agent.
Well,
Ahmed?
damn.
Yeah, Ahmed's a free agent.
All right, here, running back. So they have Myles Gaskin, Lynn Bowden, and Jared Dokes as the only signed people. You lied to us, Jeff.
Yeah, come on. Come on.
Maybe they cut him recently. So, Ryan, Dokes, we're still right here, these three. We still have Dokes under contract. Lynn Bowden, he was on IR. He came off, I believe, a couple weeks ago over there with Kentucky. He was talented in the receiver. Did he transition to running back too, I think? I think. Wide receiver, running back. So, I don't know, but we'll see.
I have a fun question for the group. What do people think about Hunter Long if Mike Gesicki were to go somewhere else? Because I'm pretty sure Mike Gesicki is a free agent. And if I remember correctly, Hunter Long, even though he didn't have like a ton of opportunity in college, was thought of as a rather talented pass catching tight end. So where's his value at? Because I'm tempted to kind of pick him up as many places as I can, just in case.
Well, yeah, if he's available, I would be adding him to dynasty rosters right now, for sure. Corey just took him in our draft that we're doing right now, so that's
damn you.
No, I think he's worth. Was he like the third tight end drafted last year?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was with the 3rd round pick too, which is a pretty decent investment. Shout out to Taylor. You could have came on the show. We sent you the link.
Compared to Jason Witten, that's a good comp.
Come on. What'd you say, Herms?
It's best comparable to Jason Witten. That's a good player.
Oh, it says that?
It's a good one.
Dude.
Yeah, check it out. Hey, whoa,
a 4.76. He doesn't have
Look at those
burst.
measurables. Wow, hey.
He better be catching the ball, if he doesn't have the agility or burst score. But I mean, did they draft him for a reason, assuming they may get rid of Gesicki? Thank you, Taylor. Who knows? But Hunter Long, is he going to be the guy? I think he only had a couple catches, if that, right?
It's either him or Adam Shaheen, and I don't think Adam Shaheen's going to do anything, to be honest. So.
This 2022 tight end class is pretty nice. We got Njoku, OJ Howard, Mo Alley Cox, Hayden Hurst, and probably a Ebron if you care about that. Gesicki, obviously. So I don't know if they lose Gesicki. Do you think they just take a shot at like a Njoku or an OJ Howard, maybe?
I could see Njoku, probably not Howard.
I don't.
Njoku went to college at Miami, so.
See, and we know, Jeff, you love that homey type analysis.
I do. I'm a sucker for
OJ Howard, 2 hours from Miami. Where is he from, actually?
New Jersey. Because Jeff.
That was Njoku.
Yes, OJ Howard.
He's from Alabama. That's around.
Alabama.
All right, cool. I like Hunter Long, though, to answer your question. I wish he was a little more athletic, but if he could get 3-4 receptions, 30-40 yards, you're
that's points.
Instantly grab a touchdown, so there you go.
Right? Yeah.
Brad!
Ball, especially the best ball league. Shout out to Brad. Brad's coming to the
Shut up, Brad.
Year.
I wish.
Not confirmed.
Damn it.
But Corey just invited him.
Well, if he shows up, I'll bring the kazoo.
We had a Twitter engagement.
So. I'm afraid we'd hug him to death if he actually came. Everyone would be so happy.
I hope Little Pete comes. That's all,
Yeah, right?
Yeah, great.
Okay. Well, any other dying questions? I love that one from Herms about Hunter Long. Who's another tight end? What about Bates? John Bates, Jesse Bates. That's the who day. John Bates. He's an
excellent blocker. He's a very good blocker.
He's too slow.
It's one of these that I think he's going to be on the field because he's an eraser in the run game. He's a really good blocker, and so if he's playing, all you need to do as a tight end is catch an occasional touchdown, and you're fantasy usable. So you never know.
That's a big fact. So how much should you weigh in the fact that this guy is going to be on there? How many times is a play getting audible to maybe where Bates may find out there? I mean, I think the last 6 games he had 4 targets or more each game.
Yeah, he did. They were using him. They were not afraid to use him. He's a big guy that they can work in the seam, and they were using him as such. Like I said, he's a great blocker. It kind of reminds me of Drew Sample.
That's all we got on John Bates. He's a good blocker.
I feel like there was a hive of Drew Sample people for 2 years.
Me.
And everybody was like, Drew Sample is going to be the next guy. And meanwhile, CJ Uzomah actually can catch the ball. And so,
right.
I don't know. Logan Thomas is still hanging around and whatever they do with Seals Jones. So, Logan Thomas kind of feels like
Sammy Reyes, the guy they signed from.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's from, but
I think he's Brazilian.
Sammy, sorry if I'm saying this wrong. Where is he at? He's pretty athletic. I think he tested higher than Jacob Harris in the RAS.
If I remember correctly, he is also a basketball player. So that's a fun fact for you.
Love this, dude. I love that this turned to the tight end analysis because Craig shouted out Granson. He's looking pretty solid. Will Jack Doyle retire? Maybe. If so, you got to expect the Colts go sign somebody from free agency. So it depends if that's going to be their tight end one or a rotational piece. Granson saw 11, 12 receptions, which obviously isn't good, but like as a rookie tight end, that's pretty cool to see some involvement spread out throughout the season. Another guy who's pretty cool, Jacob Harris, right? He suffered was it an ACL for him?
He did, yes. He tore his ACL.
Look at that, dude. Oh my God.
I got one name and one name only. And it's spoiler alert. It's a pretty obvious name that a lot of people are talking about already. Now, Albert dude. Albert Okwuegbunam. Because like, yo, dude, like honestly, like I know that this is not some sort of revelation, but like it's important to get in people's heads and just hammer it home. Like, yo, Noah Fant could be on the move sooner rather than later. Hell, Albert O could be on the move sooner rather than later. Like they have superfluous numbers of weapons out there in Denver. So hey, man, I went to college, but like they're gonna have to figure out something to do with this whole mess of guys because like there's a ton of talented players there, and not all of them are going to be able to see the field. So whether it's in Denver or elsewhere, it's like, yo, this dude is a baller. So like
I could see Noah Fant being part of a package for a quarterback or Alberto, either one.
Exactly.
I think one of the receivers goes. Probably not Jerry Jeudy. Maybe if they can like package KJ Hamler in somewhere, Tim Patrick, even though they just re-signed him. I mean, that's got to be kind of part of their plan. Because they're going to go after Rodgers. Yeah, and it's either going to be Fant or Alberto that should more than likely be a part of that in addition to picks.
You guys, can I loop you in on something here?
Sure.
Yeah, always.
How do can I share an Excel sheet?
Probably. Do people realize that Dalton Schultz is a free agent? Like I kind of feel like people don't realize that because I feel like they gave Blake Jarwin a bunch of money and he's kind of hanging around still.
That's absolutely right. So here, Denver Broncos. We got Albert O is the blue, Fant is the green, Sutton is the gray, Jeudy is the orange, Hamler's yellow, and Patrick's purple. So the first half of the season where Jeudy, Hamler, and Okwuegbunam had injuries, Fant and Sutton led the team there with 7 and 8.3. Jeudy had that first game, Hamler ACL injury in the third game, and Patrick, of course, was hanging around. But when everyone came back healthy, you saw this even kind of this distribution where everyone kind of resorted to like a medium, like around 3 to 5 targets.
Unusableness.
Right. So here was the No, that's not updated. Oh, here it is. The distribution between it. The only change was that Albert O was the only player to get a positive change when everyone returned. The other 4 receiving options lost targets. So that's pretty cool. And then here it is, the receiving options with their potential out.
How Albert O towards the end of the year?
The final game. Oh man, dude, I had. Oh, right.
Because once Drew Lock came in.
Yes, right here.
That would kind of be my question.
So when Drew Lock came in is when he got nothing. So
which is crazy.
That's interesting because I wouldn't think that would be the case because them having the connection from college, like I would have thought that that's when he kind of had the uptick in targets. So that's interesting to see that.
That's wild.
So when all of these were healthy, it was 7 games, but 4 were with Teddy B, who was this blue. Drew Lock is the pink, and then both are this yellow. So 4 with Teddy B. He favored Jeudy and Fant, while Drew Lock favored Tim Patrick and Jeudy, albeit a small sample size with 2 games. So now specifically in the mixed up games, I went into Pro Football Reference and manually inputted who favored who in this game, and it still followed similar to the previous notion there. So all healthy. Here is how it was distributed. Tim Teddy B favoring Judy and fans, while Drew Lock favored Sutton and Patrick, which maybe makes sense. That's kind of how we thought entering the season with Teddy B, maybe a short guy, Lock airing the ball out, finding, I don't know. But this reminds me, I need to write this article. So
I just can't wait for John Elway to fall in love with somebody like Desmond Ridder and just like spend that first round pick on him. Like that's going to be great, right, Nate? Right? Isn't that going to be fun? Isn't that going to be awesome? When oh, God.
He's living it up out there. Who do you want, Nate, in this draft?
I don't know. I want to see what they're going to do in free agency.
You heard it here first. Oh, okay. That's a good. Free agency is before, right?
Yeah.
What if free agency was after it? Jeff, didn't you tweet that out?
Yes. Free agency should be after the NFL draft.
That'd be
It drives me nuts because you don't want to feel like you need to use your draft picks to fill a need. And I feel like teams do that way more often than people realize. And I think that if he had free agency afterwards, it'd be more beneficial for free agents because then teams really would be desperate to get that wide receiver instead of saying, "Oh, we can address that in the draft instead." And I just think it would be a little bit more conducive to team building. One of the things about we're all in this our modified C2C draft that we're doing, and part of the college side. Drafting the college side first, you have like a little bit fresher look at it because if you were to draft the NFL side first, a lot of people, what happens is they would say, well, I went light on running backs on the NFL side, so I better hammer those on the college side. And it doesn't lead to building good teams. And so that's kind of why you draft the college side first there. So I took a lot of running backs.
Dude, I don't even know what I'm doing at this point.
Right?
I don't even know if my team is good.
Where are we at? Okay, so you said, you did start off with a lot. I wish it would go in order of how you picked it, but it just separates quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end. Jeff, it's kind of odd. Why haven't you picked a tight end yet?
Well,
maybe it's not odd to me. What happened?
I don't know. You broke up.
Oh.
But I don't have a tight end.
Yeah, I've noticed that you haven't took a tight end because I know you're a tight end fanatic, especially, I guess mostly in the NFL. Was it just due to like how the draft was going and you don't want to take a guy or
mistakes were made? I don't really know if I like
you
my team.
You made mistakes.
I'll trade you Eric Gilbert. How about that? We can make a swap.
I have Eric Gilbert in all my other CGCs. I've got him enough.
Is he cool?
He's like nobody knows where he is. In terms of like nobody knows where he is. So he kind of just disappeared.
It's kind of why I like him.
He kind of disappeared.
Not in real life.
In real life, like.
Oh, okay.
He's like not with the team.
Okay.
For like the entire season. So that's kind of what's going on there. Tight end in college is tough because there's just not
Brock Bowers, man.
Brock Bowers is a good pick. I was going to take him. There's just these offenses don't use the tight end all that much because we see it. You think about it, you see it in the NFL, and there are really only a handful of athletic, good receiving tight ends in the NFL, and that's guys that are stretched out over 10 years of their career. So when you put that into college, that gets and you spread it out even more. It's just that you don't have that many tight ends in college. And so teams aren't going to design offenses to feature the tight end because it's hard to find and recruit good tight ends. And so that is why production can be a little bit spotty when it comes to tight end.
But I mean, the dude, I think statistically had a better season than Kyle Pitts' 2020 season, I think.
Oh, he's great.
Statistically,
he had a great
better
season. I mean, he's kind of a tweener, I guess. He's very small. Like, I think he's like 6'3", 220. And so
tiny.
Yeah, like 6'4". He's listed as 230, but I think it's closer to 220. So, that could work in college pretty well. It's just there's questions about him transferring to the NFL.
How'd you like my boy Jerry Cross there? Penn State recent rookie coming in. He's got his own clothing line. Everybody go hit that up. He's from Milwaukee. I can't find his stats, but I like this Jerry Cross guy. He's paired with that one quarterback I already forgot, Alar or whatever.
Yeah. You
I like
have
Jerry.
him Aller on your team? Or
Nope.
No?
Nope.
You're going way youth on your team. I've noticed you're taking a lot of the freshmen.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if that's planned. More so of like maybe they just work hard. Maybe they transfer eventually and get to a better situation. I don't know.
I mean, it's risky. You're swinging for the fences because the thing of
Yep.
it is you don't know if the guy can play at all. And so they're like freshmen that just
True.
don't
I know my
even
boy though.
play.
Ross.
So
my boy.
that's kind of the concern there on going.
Well, now I
that
gotta
young.
stop that. But what about like?
it's
Sorry.
it's you kind of think about it in terms of like your first couple rounds are kind of more Debbie, where you're trying to get guys that you project to the NFL level, and then you start to weigh in the balance between rolling the dice on a freshman that has a nice profile or maybe a veteran that will give you some production that you're not convinced he's going to be in the NFL.
Right. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, I could take like a 2023 person, but it's like if a 2023 person's going this late, I would think they're not that good.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to think. I was going to take Brenningstool. I almost took him when Nate took him. Jake Brenningstool here. You can see up the screen a little bit more of the tight end that Nate took. When I took Jalen Milroe, I just wanted to get I wanted to grab another quarterback, and so he's Alabama's backup quarterback, which is a pretty good thing to be at Alabama. So
Okay,
he's an athletic quarterback that can go give you that little bit of both. But Brenningstool is the number one recruit in 2024. Yeah,
Jake Brenningstool. Yeah. Okay. So is it not? It's not too
take
odd
him
as a true freshman to not be playing, especially at a school like Clemson.
It's hard to get on the field at a big program. So when you've got somebody that comes in at a big school and plays a lot as a freshman, that's a very good thing to see.
Brock Bowers, baby. No, for sure.
Yeah,
That
Brock.
makes sense.
Yeah. No, Brock Bowers, legit dude. Like that's a good pick.
Who was this quarterback that I took? And sorry, it's oh wait, hold on. I have a question about the athletic guys. Like, what if they go to defense?
Yeah, that happens. So I had I did a draft last year, and then like one of my later picks was Steel Chambers. And if you follow college football at all, you'll learn that Steel Chambers was the leading tackler for Ohio State, or one of the leading tacklers, because he went from playing running back to playing linebacker. So
That's
it happens.
That's awesome. Have you heard of this Justin Martin? This quarterback, Justin Martin?
No.
I don't know what I searched, but I found like 2025 quarterbacks. And Justin Martin, he's a pro style quarterback according to Rivals.com. 4-star guy, he's 6'4". That's cool.
So I'm curious to hear from you guys on what resources are you guys using to come up with your picks.
DynastyLeagueFootball.com.
DLF.
I was hitting up Bruce a little bit about my earlier picks, seeing what's good, and then I DLF. But now these late rounds, I had it. I exited out of it. I just went to the 2022 recruitment class of all the colleges. And well, this was more recently. I should have did this from the beginning, but just clicked on players. Like you were saying, you said Alabama with quarterback. So I went to like Penn State for running backs, looked at that running back. Oh, he was taken. I went to Clemson, for wide receivers. Oh, I already took the wide receivers. So pretty much that. I also Googled top Debbie, underrated, whatever. And then there's an article from like a year or two ago. And then I picked a player or two from that. Then I was like, oh crap, did they get injured? Like by now, I didn't really look into it. But those where I'm looking. Herms, Nate.
Wait.
I mean, campus2canton.com. I got a membership to that. That's been super helpful.
Cheater.
Also, it's a good resource.
Campus to Canton League, bro. You're doing great.
100%. Yeah, no, campus2canton.com. Excellent resource. Also, memory recall, names I have heard. That's another resource I've been using. Hey, I've heard that. So, I figure if I know who they are, they're probably good. Which is always a great strategy. That's how I first started playing fantasy football when I was a kid. I was like, oh, I know that name. Cool. And then, I'll learn. And then, honestly, like I'm just like going to different websites and just looking up like recent stats or whatever. Like the last player I drafted, I guess, is like a decent pass catching running back. And I was like, well, I like pass catching running backs. Seems like this guy does it. So cool. And then like, I don't know. Otherwise, it's just like Googling, like, I don't know, like articles on like PFF being like, these guys could be neat. And I'm just like, okay, PFF is full of smart people, smarter than me. So fuck it. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just either that or like, honestly, like anybody I know who's not in the league, at least. Because, you know, like, I'm worried that I will just get misdirection advice. No, everybody's honest, but like people outside of the league that I know are in like Devi or anything like that, I'm always just like, hey guys, so here's the draft board. Here's where I'm at. What should I do? Just like, you know, like that type of thing. But honestly, like, it just, I already had an appreciation for people that were in, you know, this space, but dear God, like the respect has just grown so much more. I'm like, I have a hard enough time it's like, I don't like NFL practice squads. Sometimes I'm like, well, who's even on these?
Right.
Meanwhile, there are people following because I guess there's like 4,000 conferences in college football for some reason. It's just like, how do you know this? How can you be like, oh yeah, this dude over here at like, you know, Northeast Montana Community State? Like, how do you know this? Like this,
I wonder the same thing. But I used to be that guy. But years.
Who are you now?
I used to be the guy who knew every player in college football. Well, I am not that guy. I haven't been that guy for like 6 or 7 years.
And I mean, like I used to be able to go through like a decent, you know, chunk of like every Major League Baseball team's prospect list. I mean, like, I understand the capacity to be able to do that, but there's just something about it being so many conferences and so many teams. It's just so intimidating. It's so intimidating. Like,
Corey.
This is why, you know, shout out to the Devi Royale. They made it a Power 5 draft only. Like, imagine if you were drafting all these people, like, you know, the MAC conference, shout out to MAC. Like, you know, I could walk to Western Michigan's stadium right now and practice with Sky Moore if I wanted to. Actually, fun fact, me and my buddies while in college, they just left a specific gate open to the field, and we would go out there and play Ultimate Frisbee all the time.
Yo,
it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. And sometimes players were running sprints and they just said, we asked them like, hey, is it cool if we're here? Like, just don't get in our way. It was pretty cool. Like the players were cool about it. It was offensive linemen though, I think. So, but it was fun, man. Shout out to Western Michigan Broncos.
Shout-outs.
But doesn't it feels like if you've played fantasy for a long time, it feels like when you started playing, when like you feel like you could, before everybody was all dialed in and trying to play the same way and going for the same sleepers.
Right.
And, you know, it just kind of is a more pure game mode, I feel like.
Jeff is so happy we're hearing us talk about it because this is their first like listener league or their first kind of like, here's 9 people who don't really know much, or at least 9 people who don't know as much as them, and kind of maybe seeing the growth of us as, I don't know if we want to call us analysts yet. I'm just drafting people out the whim, but growth of us, because I've been actually really excited. Maybe it makes me actually want to watch college football. So, or it makes me want to do an actual like startup with just everybody, because I'm sure there's a bunch of, you know, again, MAC players who are warranted, or other the Sun Belt Conference.
They are. Well, yeah,
right.
And they're, you know, and
he's like,
get into deeper college football. It's they're
JUCO campus to Canton. Yeah, all right, now we're talking. All right,
JUCO.
Let's get that high school database ready.
Yes, sir. All right.
I remember asking Jeff if there's any like high school analysts out there.
I mean,
what's the next head like that? If you want to be the next in the fantasy industry, you got to scout the high school players. But then it's like,
well, I still kind of think that Campus Canton and all that was still the next. You know, we're not there yet.
Oh, well, sorry, but I'm thinking 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Wow, this was really nice, guys. This was fun.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Yes. Yeah. Again, thank you to everyone who participated in the mock draft.
Absolutely.
Team 1, Team 10, Team 11, Team 12 specifically.
Herms, welcome back to the show.
Yes.
And shout out to her. And shout out to you all.
Oh, thanks, Ryan.